Hi, I'm Steve Shelburne, owner and operator of Shelburne RV, here in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee. So the next project we're going to work on here, Shelburne RV, it's between Christmas and New Year's, so we were closed this week. And so I've got the guys up here working on one of our projects, 1975 Winnebago Indian. And so I bought this for kind of a shop truck to kind of show people what we do here. And one of the things that was really bad about this was the roof was gone in it. So the inside's kind of nasty. We're gonna gut that, but the outside looks awesome. Let me turn this around and we'll take some looks. So you can see the sheet metal on this thing, man, really looks nice. The outside of this camper is in really great shape. Now I've kind of got it over here underneath my awning so we can start working on this roof. And you can see this roof originally had it's all metal roof. And over time, this thing has obviously developed some holes where it started leaking. This metal aluminum has just give way. And so we're gonna strip all this off of here. And then inside here, there's really nothing underneath this but 1-inch foam and then the ceiling panel. So what we're gonna do to give it some structure, because I want to put wood on this, and then I've got new TPO we're gonna put across the top of here. I'm gonna get some 1x1 aluminum square tubing, and we're gonna span these every 16 inches all the way across here. And then we'll come in and lay the plywood down, and then we're gonna put nice TPO roof on this. So I'll take more videos as we get through this, but you'll kind of see what we're doing here. But yeah, the roof has just got the problem, but the rest of the camper is really in nice shape. So we're gonna get it all fixed up. Obviously new air conditioner. This bathroom vent right here, you know, there's nothing in the industry now that looks like this, and I don't know that I'd ever find a cover for this. So we're just gonna change this to a traditional skylight. So I'll find something to put on there, and then obviously gonna do away with that old antenna and put a king jack on there. And then update that's the old style refrigerator vent. We'll update that with a new style. And then I've got the new style 14x14 vent we'll put in there. So update all this stuff when we get it all done. But I'll take more videos as we go through here. Got the turn bar off on the side here. And you can see I've got part of the ceiling folded back. And you can see what we got going on here. So it's kind of interesting that Winnebago in 75 had this 1-inch thick plywood that they were even laminating back then. Ceiling panel on the bottom, and then they had Luan on the top, and then they rolled the metal roofing down on top of this. So if you can see down here on this edge, the way they attach that to the ceiling is this piece of angle iron right there. And this is all across the inside of this camper. And so basically what we're gonna do is I've got some 1x1 1/8-inch thick square tubing being cut, 93 inches long. It's a 93 inches from here to this edge right here. And then basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay one in here, and then we're gonna lay the beams across here every 16 inches, like in a house. And then when we put the plywood across here, that'll give us the 16-inch centers where we can screw everything down. But not only that, when we come to put the ceiling panel back up on the inside, that'll give us the ability to run screws across on the inside. We can put those nice little buttons across the top, and it'll look all nice and neat and secure it and all that. But yeah, this is what a roof on a 75 Winnebago looks like. Right here and see what's going on the 1975 Winnebago. I got John and Gary out here trying to strip this metal roof off the top of this so we can get a game plan on how we're going to do this. Man, look at that. Yeah, they've got her opened up now. So you can see this thing's been leaking for a while. And the inside, you know, it's pretty rough, but new paneling on the walls. We're gonna get all this cleaned out and stripped out. The outside, again, is just phenomenal how nice this outside of this camper is. But yeah, Gary's getting everything. Cousin Gary right there. We're gonna get everything stripped up and cleaned and prepped, and then we'll show you how we're gonna resolve this mess. Got the rest of the roof off of this now, except for that little bit of part. We got a little bit of trouble right there, but so there was wood down in here that had actually rotted away, and so I've got to cover this with some 1/2 by 3.5 inches to go across here, so that we can screw here and then hold all this. So the remnant of that actually fit down in here perfectly. So I've got it all the way down in there. Mr. John's cutting the other piece to go down in there. So we'll get all that attached, and then I'm gonna put the 1/2 piece across here. Then that screws to here, screws to there, and it'll hold all this tight. And obviously gonna have to do the same thing on the other side. And then I've got this 1x1 aluminum square tubing that once we get all the boards put on there, I've gone through, and you can see where I've marked these every 16 inches. So I've got enough of this to go across the whole span, and we're going to respan once we get the board on here and we put the ceiling panel on. Then we'll respan all that with this every 16 inches, and that way we put our plywood on, we got ways to attach it there. So starting to come along. Well, we've got the roof completely off now and got everything cleaned, wire brushed, everything's vacuumed out. So we're at a point now where I got to run and get the ceiling panel. We're going to put the ceiling panels on first, and then we'll put the aluminum bars across it, foam. I'll get all the holes for my lights. I'm going to add a light over the bed, 2 in here, 1 in the bathroom, 1 in the hallway right by the air conditioner, 1 in that little closet, right there, closet right there, and then 2 in that bedroom back there. So once I get the ceiling panels in, I'll go ahead and put the lights on, and then we'll start laying everything on top of that. But today, I'm probably gonna have John Fish go through here, and we're gonna strip the carpet, start cleaning the walls, get everything cleaned up out of there, so that way we're a little bit ahead on that, and I can see what we got going on with the floor. I don't feel any soft spots, but until we get it all tore open, we won't really know. I got all this cleaned off yesterday. Obviously going to put 1 bar across here to hold the structure of the back of this wall right there, and then we'll pull the rest of that foam out right there and clean that and put it in there. But yeah, I'm gonna have him strip the wall off right here, because you can see some stuff going on there. So we're gonna strip all that stuff, because I'm gonna repanel all this stuff, but I got to get everything cleaned out, vacuumed out, and back the way it needs to be. So that's what we're going to work on this morning. So got a little bit of that stuff cleaned out. John's got the floor pretty well cleaned. I'm going to leave this carpet for now, but I'm going to take all this carpet out. He's got the doors removed, got some of the trim removed. Obviously one day in the future we'll update that to the that old hot water heater. We're going to update that to the Suburban SAW6D gas only model, and then redo all the plumbing and open our pecs and get all that cleaned up. But he's got the door off so we can see what we got going on there, and then he's got this wall pulled apart. So, you know, obviously with the roof off of here, this is a great time to kind of get this under control. And then he's got the cabinet open up there so we can see what we got going on there. Back here in the very back where the bed's at, you can see the water tanks that they used in 1975. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize those were back there, obviously, till now when we got this opened up. So that's kind of neat. And then breaker box, obviously right there. And then the 12-volt converters down there. And then, yeah, so air pump to pressurize the tank to push the water through. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah, once I get all this out, then we're gonna redo this and the converter. You know, obviously I want to update that to a modern style. Probably just go ahead and put the WAFCO complete power center in there, so that way we got the breakers, the 12-volt fuse panel, and then that'll work really good right now. So like, we're gonna strip all these speakers out of here, and then when we put the roof on here, I'll go ahead and pull all the 12-volt wiring. And with the way this is set up, I can run my wiring through here and down the back wall, since we're going to have to redo this panel. And so with putting that power center right there, this is going to work really nice, because I can run all my 12-volt power back to there, have everything uniformed. And then if I need to add power later on, after I do that, I've got this panel down here that I can take off, and I can run anything I need to up underneath all that. So Coleman furnace underneath here, that's kind of interesting. You know, that obviously they don't make that stuff anymore, so definitely going to strip that out of there and go ahead and update that probably with a Suburban NT40 furnace, because I really like the...
Steve, you got a copy, Steve?
There's my radio. Really like my Suburban products, so Suburban hot water heater, Suburban furnace will look really nice in there. So we'll get that under control. So yeah, coming along, but working on this this floor, walking on the floor there, it's pretty solid. So like I say, once we get the carpet out and really figure out what's going on there, we'll see what the floor is looking like. See what you got going on here, John. Looks like you got all the...
Down below that.
Oh yeah, down there on the bottom?
Yeah.
I got you.
There was wood there.
Yep. Well, pretty much got the carpet out of here. This was the only spot I was really worried about that was a little soft, and actually it's just soft because it's wet. So we're going to give it a chance to dry out and then revisit that once it's dry a little bit. There's actually a little spot right there too that's kind of on the soft spot, so we'll give that a little bit of time to dry out because it's having a lot of water in here, and then see what we got going on. So we got the wall pulled off there, and this is actually a fiberglass wall right there. So I'm probably going to pull this out and put some shower board in its place and then rebuild all that structure to go back in there. So that's where we're at on that. But John's making some good progress here. So I've got my framing up here, just kind of laying it out, because obviously air conditioner is going to go right there. I had first made the air conditioner out of this one, not realizing that it was going to have to be off-centered. So I just moved that one to the back because we're going to put a fan over here, and then obviously I've got one for a fan in here. But so then I just obviously too, I had to get the skylight in for the bathroom, so I just went ahead and kind of framed this stuff up, and then I offset that one for the air conditioner. And you can see right there where I've just got it kind of screwed together with some little scrap pieces I cut out of this 1x1. So now I'm going to come in here and put I've got this old piece of trim that I'm just going to screw to get across there to hold all this together. I've actually got one on the other side, it's hard to see, already in there. And then I'm going to take this in here and weld all this up so that piece can just set back down on there when we're done. But yeah, getting kind of ready to start putting a roof on there. You can see, got the skylight already ready to go in there. So I've been kind of dry fitting that. So yeah, gonna put that together, put some screws in it, and I'll take it down. And you can kind of see where I've already welded that one. And I'll take it in there and spool gun those joints all together. All right, got 2 of the ceiling panels laid up here. So we're gonna go ahead and start laying our framework in. And then I'll go ahead and secure this up, ceiling panel up. But we got one right there to split the difference, and then we'll have to cut a short piece to go in right here. But John's bringing the framework up right now. So putting these in between here, making sure our bars are on the center. Now obviously we can move this one over just the fuzz when we put this other ceiling panel in. So yeah, getting this in here. Now we've got to deal with this not fitting just right, so we're going to go inside and I'll show you what we'll do on that to get all this pulled up where it needs to be. All right, well, we've been working for a few minutes here, so we're going to actually go grab us some lunch right quick. It's about that time. But yeah, coming along, got everything put up in there. Going to cut out the holes. Got that one cut out and got that one cut out. Go ahead and cut this one out. And then we're starting to lay them up in here, and we'll start attaching that. So coming along. All right, so here's where we're at on this. I've got the 1x1s now put across here, and you can see where I've got them on my 16-inch centers. I did run a screw down through the end of them to hold them in place. And then this is how the factory actually had the original. They had boards across here. So we obviously went back with that. And then I've got that board going across the face. So when we tuck the membrane under there, we'll put a turn bar across that. So you can kind of see what we got going on now that we've got some structure in this roof. Of course, vent fan's going to go in right there. Air conditioner is going to go right there. It is offset from the center because that's where it is in the hallway. Bathroom vent and then rear vent. So we've got all that put in there. And then I put this back piece in here so that way when we roll the membrane over here, then all this can be pulled tight and the screws can hold that, and put a turn bar across that too. So yeah, looking pretty good. And then I'm gonna take you inside and show you how we secured all this to the bars. You know, obviously that's going to have some support, but you know, there's definitely some places in the center here where there was no, you know, nothing holding it up there, so we had to hold that in place to get that in there. But you can see that thing's turned out real nice. Got a lot more structure in it now than what we had. So the next step is I got to get the foam board. We're gonna get that in the morning. 1-inch blue foam board we'll put across there, and then at that point, the only thing left in here is I've got to run some wiring for some lights. Get that done, and then we're ready to start putting some plywood on the top of this thing. So let's go downstairs and I'll show you what we did inside. Okay, so we actually took some of the ceiling panel and ripped it into an 1.5-inch piece. Strip to go across there to go in the seams. And then I had these nice little buttons with the screws, and so that's screwed straight into the panel. Now, obviously we'll touch this up with something, but now that we've got the ceiling panel laid in here, looking real nice. They've got the bed. This was a bed that's laid down, so they've got all that put back in there. So again, strip down the center of that with the buttons holding all that in place. So you can see air conditioner is centered in this hallway, but it is off center for the camper, but that's where it's at there. So we've got that ready. So now it's just a matter of going in here and mounting some lights. But yeah, this turned out good, putting that strip in there like the factory does, and then those little buttons are holding everything kind of in the center, keep everything where it needs to be. So lights now, we're gonna go ahead and get all the lighting put in. So you can see where my wires are sticking through right there, and got a bunch of them back there. So we're gonna run all those wires back to the back there, because that's where I'm gonna put my converter box. But now that we got all this done, we're gonna cut all the foam board tomorrow, and then hopefully be putting plywood and a roof on tomorrow. Well, I got cousin Gary running to get some foam board this morning. So you can see I've been busy getting all my wiring ran for my lights. And so got them all run down the middle, and you can see right here, I drilled a hole in there and then put those nice rubber grommets in there to keep that wire protected. So I've got all that run here, and then I ran the wire down into the closet, because that's where the 110 is going to come up for this air conditioner. And then I put a nice little grommet in there also for the 110. But remember in that other video, I can run it down there and then run it against the wall all the way back to my converter. So I feel that's probably the easiest way at the moment to do that. So yeah, now I've got all my wire run, so just waiting on the foam board. I actually went through and measured all my widths and my lengths. So as soon as Gary gets back, we'll start ripping a bunch of 15-inch long pieces and then snap the ends, and should have the foam in, and we'll be ready to start putting plywood on. So we got our last foam board just installed. You can see where I cut out my little holes for my wagos. That's how I connected all those. They work really nice. I left this open right there because I had a bunch of wire put in there. But now we got our foam board on there. We're going to start cutting the plywood to go on the top of there. Okay, so we got all the seams taped. That's where all the screws were at. So we tape all those points. Only other place we got to tape is across around that. We got to do that and around that one. But we've got everything else taped, so we're at a point now. We're getting ready to put the TPO, lay the TPO on top of this thing and get it all glued down. Now back here, I'm a little concerned because when I got to put the turn bar across here, see how much gap I have right there? I don't really have a lot to screw into that, so I may come back in here and put another piece of this up underneath that, and that'll give me plenty of support to do that. So for now, we're just going to roll the TPO back to this point. I can fold this back. I can resolve some of this issue. But yeah, you see Brandon now is on top of that roof where before you didn't dare get up there because it had no structure. So now we're in good shape. Got the sides all taped up, so we got structure now. We can put when we put our turn bar on the side, we got plenty of structure to screw to. So yep, getting ready to lay the TPO on next.
From the material first?
Yeah. So you can see Brandon's got the glue on there. See how wide it is? It's still wet. And that's how we know that it's kind of wet. And so if you put it on there now, that thing will be moving around like crazy. So we want it to tack up. You can kind of see down here, see where it's kind of disappearing now? See how sticky that is? So those two surfaces, once that starts drying out and the white starts disappearing, then we'll roll that heavy 40 mil Carlisle TPO on there, and then that stuff, when we roll it and get it down, it'll be solid. If we put it down wet, which we do that on some of the extreme ply PVC, that'll allow us to move it around and get it right, but we don't want to do that. That stuff's so thick that when it goes down, we want it to stay down. So we're giving it just a few more minutes you can see that area over there is really, really ready, but this here is not really dried out a little bit. It's got to go a little bit more. So that's got a little bit more, but here in just a couple minutes, we're going to start rolling that on, and that'll look real nice. All right, so got the first section already rolled back. So getting the sealant, or getting the glue on this side, and then we'll let that settle up, and then we'll roll that, and we'll show you what it looks like when it's all rolled on there. So Brandon's got to get that glue on there, and then he tries to roll it out as lightly as he can, just because it takes so long to dry sometimes. We want it to dry. We want it to tack up real nice. That way when we put it on, it sticks good. So you get about 90% of the wrinkles to go down. You see as they work it a little bit, it'll start pulling those down. And then as it sits out in the sun and gets hot, that stuff will pull the rest of the way down. But they'll get about 90% of it down. You can see where they already did this side. And it looks like, you know, in the camera that this is all really loose, and it's got a little bit right there. But like I said, as it dries tonight and the glue sets up, then we can work most of that out of there. And then tomorrow, that one's actually just got a wrinkle in the material right there that's not wanting to lay down, but that's okay. Again, 90% of it's going to come out of there, and then as the sun gets on it over the next month or so, the rest of it will pull down. So there you go. Fixtures tomorrow. A little bit of a rainy morning this morning, so it's good to have this awning we can work under. So got the bell cap on, got the skylight on, got the bell cap on, got the vent fan in. Air conditioner is next, and then I'll cut out the other fan right there. Get that on, and it's just turn bars. Gotta get turn bars on. So working on the progress this morning. Got all the vents on. I'm going to grab the air conditioner right now. Still got to cut out the hole. That's where the refrigerator vent's at. So we got to cut the hole out and put the refrigerator vent on there. And then I'm cutting the turn bar to go across the top of that. We'll install it next. So there's the turn bar, and James is working on getting the insert trim in there. Now I'm going to get my M1. We got to primer this. And then I'll take my M1, which is a marine grain sealant, and run sealant on there, and then underneath there to seal that all in. Working on cutting the refrigerator vent out now, but you can see that turn bar's in place with the insert trim. I've got the front turn bar on and sealed. Now I come in here with the M1 and seal all this, and I'm going to reseal every bit of this. Now I've got new lights to go across the front of that. So you can see the new turn bar sealed all the way across there. Now that was a little imperfection in the material when we put it down. It may work itself out over time, we'll see. But I still got to go through here with my razor blade and cut the excess off right there, so that's my next chore. Get that done, and then they're in there now getting ready to bolt the air conditioner down. And you can see I've got a Coleman Mach 15 on there. Coleman, great product, along with all the other Eric Cell products out there. So now that we got all that sealed, I'm going to come back here and turn my attention to this problem back here. So we'll get that dealt with next. But I got to get my refrigerator vent cut out and then sealed and trim the bottom of this off, and we'll be back here. All right, I got the drip guards on, and I went through and sealed up here, changing some of these screws out with stainless steel. So I've got all this sealed and all sealed up. Got the turn bar now down both sides. Air conditioner's on, refrigerator vents in, and then we got the turn bar across the back now on. I got all that fixed up. I still got to do a bunch of sealant work around here, but got that now on. Turn bar down there. Now you can see a little bit of a wave in there. That wall was pushing me real bad when I had it apart, and I pulled it in, but it's just what it is. So just how it's going to have to be for now. But looks good. All the bell caps are in. Remember yesterday that stuff wasn't sitting down very good, and today we've gone up and rolled it again, and you can see it goes right back down now. So we're in good shape. Like I said, it sits in the sun a little bit. It'll solve some of that. So I got to get a little bit of the sealing out of that, and I'm gonna go reseal this, and then I've got all new lights to go across that. So coming along, but we'll have more here in just a little bit. Okay, well that pretty much finishes me up for the roof. I've got all the angles sealed, got all the corners sealed, turn bar up underneath the rail sealed. All the fixtures are sealed now, so that's pretty much watertight, other than those front lights on the front that I got to get in there. But everything else is sealed. Drip rails are on. Got the back all sealed and got it up underneath the bottom. So yeah, other than those lights, everything's sealed up on the front. Let's go inside and do one final walkthrough, and then we're gonna call it good on the roof. So all right, here we are inside. Got the fan assemblies in, air conditioner is mounted in there with the ductless lower assembly. Got that piece, the rear fan vent in. John's working right now to get the water tank out of there, and then we'll start remodeling the inside. So there you go, a roof on a 75 Winnebago. Well, all right, well that pretty much finishes it up right there. We've got about 82 hours involved in doing this roof. And as you saw, it was quite the chore to get this done. I understand now why a lot of these old Winnebagos never survived, because once the roofs went out, they were toast. I mean, you've seen how much structure we had to do and how much work we had to do to put that roof back in there the right way. So yeah, it's still amazing that there's none out there. I mean, if you do see them and they got roof problems, and obviously you see what's involved in fixing that. But yeah, it'll be a cool old camper once we get it all done. So we'll post more videos as we go. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.